you're here in Detroit, so I have to start talking basketball.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that was the big headline here in our city. Like, oh my gosh, are we getting a team? You know, not right away now. There's a little bit of a bump in the road, but talk to me about why you think it's so important to bring back the WNBA to Detroit.
Well, the WNBA had a really incredible, successful run in Detroit. I mean, I remember being at the Palace. Yeah. It was packed, 18, 19. There was a huge arena, right? And they won championships, 2006, 2008. People showed up. Detroit is a basketball-loving city. And so it was really sad when it went away.
Right.
Really sad.
So talk to me about the business side of it. What do we need to do you think, to, quote, win a team? And then I want to say make it successful, but I really don't worry about it. Once we get it, it's going to be successful.
Oh, I don't think so. I think it will be incredibly successful here. I mean, basketball was made, especially women's basketball was made for Detroit. It sounds like you have incredible leadership here from all sectors. You know, the best thing you can always do is, sell out. Sell out, right? Yeah. Pre-sell 10,000 season tickets.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, it could be more. I think that the team in San Francisco, I think they sold 20,000. Wow. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the way to do it, is to build your revenue base early, lock it in, and say, hey, listen, we're ready to go. Our arena's sold out. We have all this in sponsorships. Our jerseys are covered. This is going to be nothing but successful. Yeah.
So give me perspective. You've seen it from the very beginning to now. I mean, you played.
I did.
And then, president of the WNBA. It was a slow boil, I would say, at times, in terms of trying to get the traction, in terms of getting everyone for women's sports. We know that. But it's different now. So give me that inside perspective on what you saw, what you were in, and where are we?
It was a slog. It was really, really hard. Yeah. And I'm going to say this. I tell everyone I'm doing happy dance because it is so much better. But we still have a way to go. So I don't want any of us to really get complacent in terms of expectations. They are higher, they are more. Not to be selfish or greedy. It's because there is much more value being delivered all the way around, and the economics got to continue to grow to match that value.
Talk to me about WNBA and PGA. Those are two different planets, not even like, you know what I'm saying? But 17 years with the PGA.
PGA Tour.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Explain to me the difference from that female perspective of what you saw and what you learned.
Well, at the PGA Tour, I was virtually the only woman in leadership for a long time, and almost across the industry. And I wasn't a golfer when I began, but I came out of media, and I ended up running and building and negotiating our global media contracts. I loved the athletes. I thought they were great guys. I thought golf had a real community basis in terms of really going into communities, raising money for charities, and making it all better. I loved all of that about the golf world.
How did you get there? Because I love I'm going to ask you to tell me about your childhood story, because that tennis story captures my attention, but there's also more too. So tell me about what happened in high school.
In high school, I ended up playing 7 sports, which is crazy. I do really think, in general, we try to specialize our kids in sports way too young.
Yeah.
And you see a huge dropout rate and a burnout rate, and I think that's part of it. There is so much goodness and health in terms of developing different parts of your brain and your body. So at a certain age, like, it all kind of comes together. But if you play multiple sports, actually, it makes you a better athlete.
Do you remember all the 7 sports?
I do. I just went through it. First of all, and there were a lot. I loved playing field hockey. Like, I loved.
My daughter plays. It's fun.
It's such a great sport.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like soccer with a stick,
right?
In a sense. So I love that. I played volleyball. I played softball. I ran track. I vaulted in gymnastics.
Oh, wow.
I played basketball, and I played tennis. Okay. And I don't count cheerleading.
I was on cheerleading too. I quit. That's the only thing I've ever quit in my life.
Well, I didn't have to quit. I mean, all you had to do
I just didn't like the sidelines.
Oh, well.
I didn't like being on the sideline cheering for somebody else to achieve something. Not that that's a negative thing. Everyone has different things.
No, I get it. Like, on
I'm
Tuesdays I play, and then I cheer for the boys.
Yeah.
But the thing I really liked
is
I loved the skirt and the sweater.
I will tell you, a short little cheerleading skirt sometimes can be fun to wear.
And it was a day I didn't have to think about what I wanted to wear.
There you go.
And I loved that.
Yeah,
So that did it.
let's talk about now. When you take a look back to see where you are, when you tell stories, there's always obstacles, and maybe there's things, I don't know, I don't want to say regrets, because I don't believe you. You're probably like me, you don't have a regret, but what would you say was maybe one of the things you had to give up or had to sacrifice, and then, but it was worth it, or, oh gosh, I wish I didn't have to do that? Because sacrifices are hard sometimes.
Yes, but you're right. It's funny. There are moments when I'll say, "Oh, I probably could have done that or should have done that," and I try not to dwell on that because it's not productive in any way. But there's not anything that's overarching per se.
Okay.
I think that when I think about the career I've had, I feel really, really fortunate. I feel like I've never really, though, was compensated in a way that I should have been or could have been. And so I look back and say, oh, maybe I should have worked for a public company and got a couple million shares or something. Or that would be. And then I look back and I say, we have our paths or journeys for a reason, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it.
Do you have a moment where you're like, man, that worked. They didn't think it. And then you kind of, it's almost like, I don't want to say an ego-y thing, but you're like, yes, this happened.
Well, there's a couple of things that happened, certainly during the WNBA time. Where everyone said no. And it was the year that the Indiana Fever were making their run. And at the time, it was the Conseco Fieldhouse. Now it's Gainbridge. And I loved that place. It has that throwback feel that when you walk in, the sight lines are all great, whatever, and they're playing for the championship. And I walk in kind of on my own, and I'm looking around, and the place is filling up, and it's filling up. And you can walk around the top of it and look around. And I remember Brian Gumbel, right? Who's always like a naysayer. This and that, and he would always give wrong numbers of attendance, and it was always so annoying. But Peyton Manning was in the house as well. All the Indianapolis Colts were there, and I looked around and said, "This is the promise. The promise is real, right? The promise is real. This can happen. This is happening, and this can continue to happen." And I remember feeling just really great about that. And it seems so poetically just that Herb Simon now should be at the epicenter. And they hung in. The Simons hung in. Their community always hung in. They had great leaders like Tamika Catchings, right? Now Stephanie White's back as a coach, and Kelly in the front office. I mean, this is poetic justice.
I guess what kind of advice do you give to someone, and I don't want to necessarily say a Caitlin Clark, because she, quote, made it, but those younger players in getting into the system, they've gone through college, they've made it to the WNBA, but there still is a long road ahead. Where do you give them the strength?
You've got to love what you do to be able to do it.
Okay.
Right? At the WNBA level, it's never been about the money, sadly.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, these guys now, I remember our entire payroll for the entire league equaled one, I think, mid-tier exception NBA player's salary. Okay. Now, I would have dads. Like, I had this dad who played in the NFL, and his girls were WNBA bound. And he said, it's not fair.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, yeah, okay, it's not fair. Now, how would you like us to address not fair? Like, which of the levers would you like to pull, and how would you like to help pull them?
Right.
Because it takes a lot of things to happen to make business successful. And I think a lot of people have invested a lot to make it successful. I think Caitlin was and remains an incredible spark of talent, of energy, of poise, of everything. I mean, I am admiring so much every day how this young woman carries herself and the things that she says. She's always on point. And I don't want to say message, because that would sound like she's programmed.
Right.
I don't think so.
She's genuine. She's authentic.
I think she has a purity of purpose. And she's living into it. And I think that does a lot of us, all of us, a great service.
What I was going to mention was my 12-year-old plays basketball, and Caitlin Clark got her attention. But what I liked more important than just her liking an individual, she started liking the sport more. And she saw, it's kind of like, if you see it, you can be it. Not that she's going to be some superstar, but I love the fact that I feel like we're having more conversations about women in sports, and also sports leadership, sports management, coaches, refs. I like where it's going. There's still a long road, but
no, without a doubt.
What do you think?
I think it's amazing. And all the data is showing that fans, 75% of sports fans today, male and female, are interested in the new leagues that are coming up. So you had Unrivaled pop up, you had the new hockey league pop up, you have this new volleyball league, Major League Volleyball, and of course that really was an impetus for us to create the Upshot League, because we really do believe. I mean, if you look at the WNBA, last 3 years they've drafted 108 players.
Okay.
Of those 108, 20 of them made rosters. 20. And not all of them made rosters to the end of the season.
Right.
And then you'll ask a WNBA player or a collegiate player today, and you'll say, there's 100 more athletes who have talent to play in the WNBA, but there's so many limited spots. So expansion has been a great idea. You got to do measured, well thought out, each market, talking about what Detroit can do to contribute. And that's great. Okay, so in the end of another 4 years, you have 16 markets. It's still not enough, right? So I'm thinking, what the heck? Let's up everyone's shot. Let's give them a place to play. I mean, even the NBA has a league where they can develop players and move back and forth. But truthfully, my passion here is around providing community assets. And so often you'll have a minor league baseball team, or a minor league hockey team. Well, why shouldn't we have an opportunity league for women athletes to be paid professionally, be treated well, and become part of a community through their talent and express their athletic skill at the highest level?
I love this. I do.
I do too. I really do love it, because I think it's what makes communities great, and making communities great has representation across the board for all athletes.
So where do you see it going next?
Well, we just launched. I mean, we have 4 teams. It will be in a year when we take the court. Investment has been actually encouraging, right? That the market's telling us this is what we want. The mayors of the cities we're going to are telling us this is what we want. Companies and people buying tickets already, right? A year ahead.
Name the cities again.
It's Jacksonville, Savannah, Greensboro, and Charlotte.
Okay.
And so I think we'll probably have 1 or 2 more. I think we want to make sure we get it right.
Right.
And then we'll continue to build. I see it as a tremendous engine for the growth and support and engagement with women's basketball. And then it'll go at other sports as well, because we want to invest in college basketball. We want to invest in high school basketball. We want to let every young athlete know we see them and we support them. And I guess maybe that comes from, being the kid that didn't have that per se.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't have sneakers that were made for me. I mean, I had to buy boys shorts and you know what? It wasn't what was me. I kind of loved it. My husband said today, even now, you'd rather be in your gym shorts and your t-shirt than anything. Right. And the truth of the matter is, I like nice clothes and I like to feel good about them. But I really do like my gym shorts.
I know, right? Oh, it's real. It's authentic, and it's this is me. If you had to describe yourself, how would you describe yourself? What adjectives?
Oh God, how would I describe myself? You can catch me in a different every minute it could probably be something else. Aren't those the days? So dumb. Can you believe how stupid could you believe I just did that?
Yeah.
I mean, when I put the dog's food in the bread box and the bread and all these stupid things.
I know.
But I think by and large, I am somebody who has a lot of energy for life. I really see what's possible. I see opportunity as good, and so it can impact my patience. I'm like, can't you just see this?
Right.
Why can't we just do this? Well, you have to do this, you need to do this, and there's process, and I love process to a point.
Right.
Right? We got to figure it out, and we have to iterate as we go. And perfection is the enemy of good. Because at this point in time, I want my surgeon to be perfect.
True.
But many other things, right? We can figure it out. We made a mistake. Okay, not the end of the world. Let's fix it and transition. And I think when people know that you are working with them as a team player, then you're all in.
What would be your advice to mothers who are raising girls right now?
I think all of us still need to be conscious and aware of what's been poured into us, the language, a lot of the bias, a lot of the expectations that we take on, that we pass along, and we don't even know it unconsciously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we guard our girls more carefully for some good reasons, the world's dangerous. But on the other hand, we want to set them off. We want to say, fly into your courage, right? It's okay to make mistakes. We don't think you have to be judged by your outward appearance exclusively, right? All these kind of things are not there to be helpful. And I think that in sport now, the message is a lot more about strength and excellence and courage and fierceness, as opposed to a lot of the sexuality that has taken place over the years.
I like the word courage.
And let's just realize, we're human, right?
Right.
Birds that have prettier feathers, have prettier feathers.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's being human.
Right.
But when we just look at female athletes in particular, by virtue of what their physical attributes are, that's unfortunate because, men are not judged that way.
No, it's exhausting.
But I get it. I get it in terms of there's, so much that's been laid down for so long. But we've got to let our girls know that we see them, we hear them, we support them.
I like that. I think we're going to end that way. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure.
I like that. We see that.